Hello, hello. Mark Atwood here. The Mark Atwood Show, Adventures in a Cosmic Suit. It is Thursday, the 27th of June, 2024. Interesting day. I've mainly been dad today. It's been a dad day. Although it started very early in the morning being called a shill for military intelligence, which is something I can now add to the really long list of names. It's really good fun. Don't shout. Don't give it your energy, Mark. I know. I'm not. I'm laughing at it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I've just got off a show with the wonderful Lewis Herms, who, if you don't know Lewis, he's the guy that ran Truth Tour 2, which is the thing I did in America, and he's doing another thing in September. So maybe going back to America, which would be fun. That's if we're not in lockdowns by then. I mean, according to Garly Lucy, we are going to go into lockdowns, but who knows? Time is fluxing, isn't it? Different timelines, collapsing. I think what's going on right now is this. You see this? You see, there's an ascension, but there's also a descension, and higher selves are coming in, and it's creating interesting piezoelectric effects. I was talking to my daughter about this today. She goes, "Is that what Christians feel when they talk to God?" I said, "Well, kind of, yeah, but let's not get into a cult. Not a good idea." I can see why so many young teenagers that have spiritual experiences do end up in cults, but my advice to all of them is don't! Cults are bad, and there's lots of them everywhere, including the medbed cults, the RV cults, and numerous others that I won't mention. But the cult you should be in is the one where you think for yourselves and you take responsibility for all your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your wealth, your health, sovereignty. You cannot have sovereign nations without sovereign individuals. You can't have a sovereign world. That is what we are going towards. And part of that is, been a great pleasure of mine to bring on people that are doing stuff. I love people that do stuff. And one of those people is the lovely Rachel Russell, who I'm going to find in my box down here and bring on the stage. Bonjour. She's muted.
Bonjour, sorry. Yes. Hello, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm very well. It's been it's been about 6 months since you were last on the show. How are you doing? How's life? You were a little bit ill as well, and you got better.
Well, it's called the roller coaster of life, isn't it? And your ego hates being ill, but actually your soul grows quite considerably, and then in the end, you end up being able to help fix more people. Because I had Lyme's or got Lyme's from entirely my own fault. Trying to dig out a what do you call them? A tick from my leg.
Is that what you get off the? Have you got a lot of sheep near you?
Well, I was out for a walk and I needed a wee wee. So
TMI.
That's how it happened. Yeah, say no more. So so I got a tick in my leg, and then my dad decided to tell me that it would be a really good idea to put a lighter to it, and so it buried its head, and I did all the wrong things. So
wow.
I have been learning, but I've done all sorts of things, and very interesting that your disease or your dis-ease always finds you. So if you look at the homeopathic remedy for tick bites, I would have had an unstable childhood, which I did, which made me learn even more. So all these things actually accumulate, don't they? And it is the magic of life. And you can be in as much pain as you want, but your mind can be anywhere, can't it? So, and you can learn and grow through that. And it's been magical, horrible, but magical.
It's a horrible, magical.
But yeah, and then there's been developments with the bowls, so I'm going to show you those, but look,
I'm Illuminati. No. Look, I'm Illuminati. Look.
I know they freeze frame these things and then say that
I don't give a shit.
Good. Well, we're just rebels, aren't we? Really, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, willing to stick your neck out and do things. I mean, if we had this pyramid, if the pyramid of the noughties, if they were still around, I don't think I'd be around any longer, because they wouldn't want this anywhere near us. In fact, this wouldn't exist. Magnets wouldn't exist without ether energy, which I thought was fascinating, because ether energy essentially creates magnetic arrays. Oh, it's a little moth saying hello.
Hello, moth. I've got a bumble. No, I've got a blue fly. Hello, blue
Have
fly.
you? Is it a big one?
That's a very personal question, Rachel. I hardly know you. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. Couldn't resist that.
Crazy.
You got to keep being. I don't want to grow up.
Well, yeah, I was taught. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so Tony's been reverse engineering. I don't know if you can see that.
I know Tony. He does an amazing job. It looks like a Dalek thing now, even more than it did before.
So these are because what we were having to do essentially is put a tiny, because I don't really like it, glue inside underneath the magnets, and so if anyone dropped it, they would just spring out, unfortunately. So, and they are very fragile. I must reiterate that they are super fragile, and melt quite easily on your car seat. Which I've experienced.
Do they? Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna put one in the car.
Best to have it in your bum bag so it stays on you.
But mine's been in the bed.
Yes, good.
I like sleeping with it.
Well, you shoved it down your trousers last time, so I hope you've been doing more of that.
No, that's good. Yeah, the old sperm count's doing pretty good. Yeah.
Is it excellent? Well, so basically, and then some people that were helping us, a couple of them had gone home with headaches from the glue, and I didn't like that. It didn't sit right with me. So,
well, hang on. I just realised something. Hang on, there might be people watching this who don't know what the hell we're talking about. Let's go back to the basics. What is this?
So this was created by David Lapointe, and he had a vision from God, from the universe, whatever you want to call it, and he was shown, and he wasn't into magnets or anything. He was just trying to create an environment. And in fact, David Lapointe is on YouTube, and his latest videos actually show his journey, and it's the most beautiful journey, and you can connect, because he's a soulful chap, and what a magical soul he is. But he created this. So these are neodymium rare earth magnets, and there's 40 of them, all arranged in a geometric pattern. And I'm not frightened of putting it next to a computer. Yeah. So these basically what they do is so he created this to spin actually at 3,350 RPM. And in his video, he actually states at 22 minutes into the video that you don't need to spin it to have the healing effects. So it becomes magical and portable, because when it's in this great big box, I think it's not quite as portable. You can't just pop it in your pocket and go to the post office. It's not the damn thing. So these you can have physically right next to. I mean, we've got our double vortex, our beautiful heart vortex, and magnets can help with all sorts of different things. I mean, we've learned so much actually so we created it's called Hidden Rainbow Private Research Association, a bit like a private members association, so that we can all do our own research, and the naughties can go wherever they want to go. But yeah, so each one can lift nearly 3 kilos each, and so the pulling force of this with a flat magnet against metal is 115 to 180 kilos. So it's a large, so it can lift a large amount. And actually, to send them through the post, I have sent a video to everybody to show them how to open it, because it's they are so strong. But they help with muscle pains, they help with headaches, they help with toothaches, earache, heart. They can also release trapped emotions or buried emotions. If you need a hip operation, after a month, you might not need one. Same with arthritis. Bless your mummy. Oh,
well, that's the thing. You came on with, because just to explain to people, if you didn't see that show, you can go and find it. My mum was on typical mum. She was not telling me, but she was on 8 painkillers a day. And when I realized this, she came to the film premiere of Where You Atwood, and then Rachel's there, and then you gave her one. And then I spoke to her about 3 weeks later, and I said, "How's the pain?" She goes, "Painkillers." She goes, "I'm not taking any." I went, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, this thing's." I said, "Really? That's incredible." So we did a show about it. Yeah. And then Rachel had them for sale on eBay, and it sold out in about 5 minutes. So we had to set something else up, and then she had a big production problem because it was like, oh my god, there were thousands of them going out the door. but yeah, that's what, yeah. And she's still, I spoke to her a couple of weeks ago, she's still not taking painkillers, which is amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, no, it's incredible, because it will help also healing bones, you know, same as playing a didgeridoo to your bones, although this is slightly easier. You don't need to learn to breathe in and out at the same time. So what else? So it also makes people feel calmer. There was a cat, actually, it was a lady from that had watched the show, and the cat had curled up around it and was fast asleep for 2 hours, and then this cat woke up and puked up 2 half-meter long tapeworms. I was like, oh my goodness, because worms are very susceptible to magnetic north, you know, and parasites are the same. Now, it doesn't necessarily sort out parasites, and there's lots of other things that do, but it is the magical side of the pain. So muscle pain, so like a cricked neck in the morning, you know, like when you get a cricked neck sometimes, and it is literally, I mean, I place it on for about 3 minutes and it's done. I have no more pain for the day, you know, and there's no struggling. Yeah, but there's been so many beautiful testimonials, and that's actually what keeps us going. You know, when I come out into the kitchen, and we've got a whole array of people helping us, and I read out this story, and it just it blows our mind. You know, it really is incredible, because it does a heck of a lot more than we originally understood. You know, because there was these kind of anecdotal, you know, evidence, etc., which is why we needed to create a research association, because we need to do our own research. These things have been hidden from us for so jolly long. And it's time to take back our power. It's time to take back your magnets, your magnetic power. And also I suppose the electromagnetics, you know, our atmosphere is actually condensing. So the clouds are much lower, and actually you can see sprites a lot more. And these are a little bit like sprites, and that's essentially, it can create that. But your body just assimilates the electromagnetics of it and really helps your body. And I think that's why it kind of, you feel calmer with it.
Well, that makes sense to me. And I thought, well, it's been 6 months. Let's get a few people on to tell their stories. Should we bring some people on?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, I don't know if you guys in the back room can hear me. What I'm going to do is bring in one at a time, tell your story, and then we'll move on to the next one. So I'm going to start with let's start with Bill Jope. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Mark. Nice to see you again. Just say I'm staying with Sue and Ian, and they send their love to you.
Thank you, Ian. I'm going to write. He's just said, I just got his book today.
That's what he said. He said, ask Ian if he's got the. And he said, ask Mark if he's got his book. Rachel, thank you for these. These are magnificent. It feels like I've been waiting all my life for these to turn up, and finally they're here. So just brilliant. Just a little bit about me. So I live in the beautiful Herefordshire. I practice shiatsu and kinesiology. I'm also a landscape gardener and a runner and other things. So your magnets, I first got one and stuck it in my pocket. And within a couple of weeks, a 2-year-old running injury disappeared. It was absolutely marvelous. I've tried everything as well. And being a practitioner, I had lots of things to try. So on a personal level, and also one thing I'd like to add to all the wonderful list of things that they're brilliant at is sleep. So I've got a couple of them. Luckily, I managed to sort of save up, and I've got a few of them, and I've arrayed them so they form this vortex. And I haven't slept as well as I'm sleeping forever in my life, I think. So just brilliant. So I've been using these in my shiatsu practice and found them to be extraordinary. Actually, in the moment of doing the treatments, I will use these cups. I will perhaps place them on people's backs while I'm treating, where they have maybe sciatica or other issues, and I can watch before my very eyes swelling and issues just dissipating, and through the meridians I can feel this electric charge running. It's absolutely wonderful. And I've been lending them out to slightly begrudgingly, because I want to keep them in practice, but lending them out for a few weeks to people as well with long-term chronic things. But like Rachel said, they're also brilliant for acute conditions, things that suddenly happen, even knocks and bangs. sort of randomly life brings to you. And just if you've got a magnet handy, which I always have in my pocket now, just placing the magnet on somewhere, it's just instantly brilliant. Yeah, just amazing creatures. Thank you so much. Everyone should have one.
It doesn't get much better than that, Bill. Thank you. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rachel. They are really brilliant.
I'm so pleased, and I think you said because I wasn't aware, because I thought you were using them in your practice, and then I heard maybe you were using 3 at the same time, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, 3, and then you said I use 4 sometimes.
Yeah,
I was thinking, wow.
And for really, and what I'm finding, and it's coming down for really chronic conditions, because some people come to my practice quite poorly. That's what, you know, they're coming to us for healing, and I'll grid them out, and just so the raise, and while I'm treating, and I can feel this wet, and it not only immediate change but long-term change, which is I'm amazed by that. Of course it was going to happen, but to see it before your one's very eyes, and people's testimonials to come back to me and go, Bill, treatment was amazing. That hasn't hurt ever since then. And yes, it might be a little bit to do with my treatment, but it's also a lot to do with these, Rachel. They're brilliant. They're just extraordinary. Yeah. And what I've got a treatment couch that I treat on, and I grid them, so I put them like 4 underneath, so they're sending the toroidal, the magnetic force through the people. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. How do people, if people are watching this and want you to do shiatsu, how do they get hold of you, Bill? So
I'm working in the Golden Valley. My website's still being put up at the moment. So you can reach me on, I guess, I'm at the Wellness Centre in Dalston in Herefordshire. So that's where I am. You can reach me there, and I will give you a magical treatment.
Fantastic. It was great. Thank you for sharing that with us. And give my love to everybody. I'm going to take you out and bring somebody else in. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Cheers, Bill. See ya.
Cheers.
Whoa. That was amazing.
Phenomenal.
It's funny. Bill I don't know how many I've been through, and I've lent loads out, and it's amazing. And if anybody's watching this in Ireland, we have some in Ireland. If you don't want to pay the postage, you know, at the healing centre. I don't know how many we've got left. I'll have to go and have a look. But yeah, I mean, the feedback's. I want to ask you a question though before we go to the next one, Rachel, because I was with Abby Wynn, who co-wrote. Have you got my new book? Our new book?
Not yet.
No. Yeah, I can tell by your face. So me and Abby there, we were having dinner, and her husband. You saw the video. Ian, her husband, was across the table, and he was going on about this pain that he'd had for like 7 years. And I whipped this out, and I said, "Just put that on it and see what happens." Within 2 minutes, it had gone. He couldn't believe it. He was in tears. I took a video. I put it on Telegram. And then loads more people got them. And I was like, that's incredible. But I have met a couple of people who've gone, well, I've tried it and they've still got the problem. What do you think is going on there?
I've thought is rock, paper, scissors. Okay. So can you hear me? My internet.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Yeah.
It's all good. Okay, cool. So I would say this is the rock. Yeah. So for example, when you play rock, paper, scissors, because when I got my Lyme's, and it basically buried itself into my hip, and I'd had sciatica from doing the gardening and stuff, and it would just sort out instantly. I mean, it was just instant, was the sciatica. It just fixed it. But when I got Lyme's, it felt exactly the same as sciatica, exactly the same. I couldn't tell the difference, but I couldn't get the pain to leave. And that's what confused me. And I thought, oh my God, am I a complete fraud? You know, I don't want to be, you know, helping other people when this really doesn't help, you know, all the time. So I then found out because of the Lyme's, it buries itself, it corkscrews. You know, I don't think this is natural, this stuff, you know, I'm sure they bioengineered it. But so what I did is I got a magnetic pulsar. It was a Bob Beck magnetic pulsar, and it pulses 7,000 Gauss of electricity into your bones. So it sorts out your bones and your lymphatics and deep tissue, because a lot of our issues is down to parasites. And these don't always sort out parasites, you see. But we've got so many other things that can help parasites.
Yeah, so something to get rid of parasites to combine with this would be good, because one of the things I was going to say is, like, you know, if you've got arthritis, sort your diet out as well as using things like this. It's not just one thing. It's going to start. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, go on.
So I would call that the scissors. You know, snip all these horrible parasites out. And then another one has been, I've understood that the alignment of the body. So when we have issues, so like, for example, I had my appendix out when I was 10, and I didn't even realize that my torso muscles on my top just weren't firing up, basically. So I'd done boxing and all sorts of different things, but my thumbs have always been really weak, and I had no idea. And I went to see a chap called Dr. Michael Lee in Sheffield, and he reset my smell, he reset my appendix scar, and he's incredible. And I've never met anybody like him. So he's in Sheffield, Dr. Michael Lee, if anybody wants to find him, but he is a genius. And so he reset all my top torso muscles, because my body had learnt to kind of, I don't know, work in a different way. And that's the compensation, is then also what does more harm, and it causes pain. So you could fix it over and over and over again. But if you've not fixed the issue with your body compensating for the muscular issues or for trauma, and we have so much trauma, bicycle rides, you know, crashes, falls, everybody does it, you know. And
life.
Yeah, exactly, life. And so we can only, I mean, it was fascinating to learn a little bit more from him, but we only have 3 issues in the body that surface at one point. So you can get rid of one, and then another one will pop up, you know, and you knew you had it, but it just been, you know, in the background. Is that your puddy cat?
Yeah, we're blessed to have Midnight with us today.
Oh,
She must have felt this. Did you like that? Yeah, look, little hats, little cat hat.
oh.
She's come to thank me for the fresh chicken she's just had.
Oh, lovely. Oh, bless her. Oh, she's
Well,
been fed.
excuse me. I think that's a really good explanation and point there. And getting rid of parasites is something I've tried to cover as much as I can on the show. If you're watching this, if you've never heard of Dr. Jennifer Daniels, go and check out her Turpentine Protocol. Go and look at the Bob Beck. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. The Bob Beck Zapper is also very good at this sort of thing. There's lots and lots of things you can do about that. But I'm gonna shift along and pull in our next guest, which will be Ariana and Neil Honey. Hello.
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 Thank you for inviting us here. Hello, Mark. Hello, Rachel.
Nice to meet you. Tell us about your experience.
So, shall I go first, or do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Yeah, so luckily enough, bumped into Rachel and Tony. They had the magnet at the time. I'd had some work done on my teeth, so the nerves in my teeth, I was in agony. I've got a few bone issues. I thought it was arthritis coming on in the hand. I've got bone replacements, so I've got bits of metal in my bone. It's this thing, I don't know what to say. You have to try it to believe it. In the restaurant, my teeth were knacking me. Within a minute, I literally held the device, and within a minute, the pain had gone. Metal, I've got dodgy shoulder screws and things. Held it against it. The pain just subsides. It's the best painkiller I've ever used. I use it. We use it night times. It's amazing for sleep. It's amazing for our posture. I notice. We were fortunate enough. I don't even know what you call it, Rachel. We got a stand thing with it, and I put that over us when we sleep. And my posture, and my bones, my spine, so much more aligned. It's yeah. You really have to try it to believe it. I mean, I'm not talking shit. I don't tell lies, but the pain relief is unbelievable. I mean, constant pain. I mean, constant pain all the time. But when I have the magnet, it's like, what pain?
So Neil, did you say you've got metal inside you?
I've got bone replacements. I've got metal in my jaw, just from a few things in this lifetime. I've got one in my arm and my shoulder, so I've got some work going on there. Lack of bone and metal in, so it's a constant pain mark. But it's, you know, The only other thing I compare it to is cannabis oil, pain relief from cannabis oil, which I've had because I'm in so much pain constantly. This is up there with that. It's pretty incredible. I don't know, I don't understand how it works, but it works. It's amazing for sleep as well. You know, my rejuvenation. I'm not the world's best sleeper, but since I've had this above the bed, I'm getting there. You know, I wake up, I am fresh, I am rejuvenated. My spine, my posture is amazing.
How do you have it? How do you hold it above the bed? What are you doing there?
Well, Rachel and Tony, thankfully we know them, so that they're supplied. What do you call it, Rachel? Is it a bracket?
Stand.
A stand?
It's just a stand, basically. It's one of those. It's like those 360 stands that you put your tablet on or your phone, and then you can just swivel it around in any direction. And that was the screws that come with the Primafield bowl actually attach so that you don't have to have the metal through it, because the metal would detract from the magnetism. So we created the screws. In fact, we created a bigger hole for the screws, and the hole will actually that's going to help with another water device to restructure it. But yeah, so the middle part is where you screw it all in, and then you can just have it. I mean, because I sleep without a pillow, so you know, I can't just have mine underneath my pillow, and having a sock on at night, you know, is far too hot. So I just have mine on my stand as well. So yeah, absolutely perfect.
We have unfortunately just one stand. So when he's using the stand, I use mine differently. Either I put it on my body, so it helps me a lot with sleep. So I noticed in the past few years, it's hard for me to either to fall asleep very quickly, or I just wake up in the night a few times. Just I wake up and I'm up. And when I use the puck, I sleep through, and it's deep sleep that helps a lot. So when I wake up, I'm like, oh, I had a good night's sleep finally. So this is really amazing for that. Thank you.
I'm being molested by the cat because I've got this on me. Well, look, that's fantastic. I really appreciate sharing that story. We're 27 minutes in and we've got quite a few people, so we're going to crack on. But thank you very much for sharing that, guys.
Thank you.
And nice to meet you. Take care.
Thank you.
See you soon. Okay, we'll crack. That's amazing. Let's crack on with Roy. Hi, Roy.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Nice to speak with you, Mark, and good to see you, Rachel. Yeah, okay, so I'll just go straight into it for you. So for me, I've had a crooked neck. Well, actually on the screen it's that way, but hey, anyway. Had a crooked neck, and over time, over the last couple of months of using this on the base of my neck here, I have found that it's actually helped realign my neck. So my neck's actually gradually getting straighter and straighter.
Wow.
And it's helped with the pain that then has been a consequence of that, because of the muscles obviously changing position and things like that. So it's actually been helping with the pain in the muscles as well. So yeah, that's what's been happening for me. I really appreciate it.
That's amazing. I mean, were you on painkillers, Roy, or had you had treatments before for this, or?
No, I haven't. Because there was a time when I was seeing a sports massagist, but that was just to help me with some back issues having full stop, including the neck. Because basically when I was a child, I fell off a roof and landed on my coccyx. So
we've all done that.
Not ideal at all. So yeah, I think that's probably, as you get older, the body's kind of responded to that trauma, you know. So basically, I'm getting better and better, I'd say. So I'm really appreciative. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. And it also it's helped a friend of mine with spondylosis, is it called? The curvature of the spine.
Yeah. Rachel frozen a little bit, but yeah. Yeah, we've got a slight freeze issue here. I'll just pause. Just froze. But you're back. You're back. Carry on.
So Gail, a friend of mine, she'd had MS, and I didn't realise that MS sometimes causes this curvature of the spine. And that was in September last year. And so I was really shocked when she said it had this kind of pulling effect on her spine. And it's now basically her best friend. It goes everywhere with her, and she cuddles it at night and everything, you know. And a few people are the same on that front. But I think, especially, I suppose, that the skeletal structure of our spine is so important. I mean, I think, oh, bless.
She's getting a bit too needy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hippocrates said, take care of the spine because it is the cause of most dis-ease. So when we realign it, you know, we've got all sorts of different organs that then come off that. You know, it is the foundation of our bodies, the kundalini, you know. So I was blown away that the spine had actually kind of reverted back to its original, you know, straight back. And then to hear that Roy, I mean, I think initially it wasn't, you know, totally easy for you, Roy, was it? Because it did give you like a couple of headaches.
Yeah. And I still get headaches when I use it. Funny enough, I had it here just a minute ago, and I was starting to get a headache, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take that away for a sec because I don't want a headache whilst doing this, you know. But I think it's all because the energies that are going through it, you know, and the way it's affecting this area. So I think, yeah, I think it's the give and take aspect of things, but for me, that sort of pain and these sort of things, they actually have been signs of the healing, because you know, like I say, when your muscles are now being moved into a position they haven't been in years, you know, your muscles are going to hurt, they're going to feel sore, etc., etc. But as I say, thankfully it helps with that, and also it does help with the sleep. I 100% agree with that as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Roy. We're going to move on because we're cracking on. Great to meet you. Thank you very much for sharing that. That's brilliant. See you later. That's, you know, when he was talking about that, I was thinking about there used to be this website I used to read called milksucks.com. And this was like 15 years ago when I was like, oh my God, the dairy industry is not as good as we think it is. And one of the things they said is one of the first things they did in third world countries is introduce pasteurized milk. And within 2 years, you'd have an epidemic of osteoporosis. And as I'm learning more about this stuff, the body is a spiritual computer, and the spine is the way to connect. It's got to be aligned, which is why you have to sit a certain posture with meditation, right? So, you know, and I've just finished reading Terminal Cancer is a Misdiagnosis by Danny Carroll, which talks about German new medicine and the fact that most disease is obviously caused by inflammation, which is caused by toxins, but also these things are caused by traumas. Like Roy said, he fell off the roof when he was a kid, and these traumas are in this field. In your spiritual field, and the body is the place where you get the symptoms of that, which is why healing is not that simple, which is why I'm really glad that Roy talked about the headaches, because often when people are healing, it's painful. Like the world is going through right now. We're going through a massive healing, and a healing means things have to come to the surface, which means it's not very nice for a while until that's cleared, and then you get through the other side. I call it the tight shoes syndrome. You know, it only feels good when you take off tight shoes because they were tight in the first place. So that's really interesting. I'm going to crack on and bring on my favorite gyrocopter instructor, so he's got a minute to unmute himself. Hello, Paulie.
Hello, how are you? Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Mark. Good boy. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Boyle.
Well,
thank you, Paul.
Right. I was just briefly explain. I was drawn to Rachel. Well, I mean, who wouldn't be? I mean, look at that for a phone profile. And
no, she's not of this dimension.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But then when she explained about David Lapointe's research and so on, I went and watched the YouTube that completely overwhelmed me with resonance. Is that the right word? So I got one, and that very day it had arrived in the post. A youngster in our party had complained that she'd had a terrible migraine all day, and this was in the late afternoon. I said, well, something arrived in the post today which might help. So we unwrapped it, and she went and lay down 30 minutes with it next to her head. The migraine completely went. And I thought, wow, this is working. Then the next thing that happened was my elderly sister, she's 87, and she's got a lot of medical problems, including heart pain. And I gave it to her, and when she clamps it on her chest, the pain actually is relieved. And so she's very, very, very glad to have it. Those are my two experiences only of the magnetic array, as she calls it. But it's obviously exciting, and the whole idea of magnetism just thrills me. So that's really why I got into it.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Thank you.
amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. And are you looking for new students, by the way?
Well, I've got 4 at the moment, I'm very glad to say. And if anyone's interested, that's my little baby.
Oh, she looks great. She's back.
Looks
From
like
the,
a dragon. Is
no,
it a
she's back. She's back from the hospital in Italy.
Yes, she is. She's back from the hospital, and she's flying better than ever. And tomorrow morning, I'm flying my my first grandson, who's 6 years old, who was adopted at age 3 months, and
Wow.
he used to come over from Cape Town with his father. And I must tell you, when he was 5, his father said to him, "Alex, what does love feel like?" Instantaneous answer from his 5-year-old: "Feels like playing, Daddy." And I thought that was just perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that's bliss. And actually that is your immune system as well, and children are not taught this, and we all need to find our bliss. That's absolutely so true. And it is the joyful, the play, the excitement. You don't need that coffee at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
No.
Well,
the basis of life is freedom, and the purpose of life is joy.
Well, one of my greatest moments happened yesterday, Paulie. I'll tell you this. My daughter came in and she described the fact she'd just been for an interview at school, and the headmaster said, "So what do you want to be in life?" She said, "I'm going to be a pilot."
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah, because you've given her a few lessons, which is
yes,
which I'm always grateful for. She said, "Can I go back to Wales to fly with Paulie?" I went, "No, because you're not going to be a gyrocopter pilot, are you?"
Well, she's very welcome anytime at all.
Well, yeah, we'll see you again soon, and thank you so much for sharing that. See you later. Cheers.
Thank you, Rach, for all that you do. It's fabulous. And Mark, thank you for all that you've led me into. I've just signed up for the spinal flow certification, for instance, and it just
wow, yeah, that is brilliant. Fantastic. Oh, it's great.
Thank you both.
It's like I love it. See you later. Cheers, mate. Bye. Oh, I love that, man. Right, who's next? Oh, one of my other friends, Lindsay. Hello, Lindsay.
Hello, Mark. Hello, Rachel. Hi.
How's it going?
It's going good. All good.
Good. Always is.
Always is, yeah. Well, I'm the proud owner of 3 magnetic pucks. I keep one in bed with me, like obviously you do, Mark. I didn't know that at the time, but yes, it stays in bed with me. And if I wake up in the night and I occasionally get cramp, I just stick it on wherever's cramping, and it lasts about a minute, then it stops. I tend to sleep with it just kind of tucked in below the boob area. There's a bit of a gap there that it snuggles into quite happily. But occasionally it wanders around the bed, and I did find it in a very strange place one morning, and I thought, well, obviously something needed treatment.
That's the way it works.
Yeah. Happy accidents. Love it.
It's good. You didn't tell me you'd fit the homing device on it.
What it must be. I also woke up one morning with I've had abscesses over the past 10 years, not so much since I had the mercuries out and all that, but I woke up and I thought, oh, there's an abscess brewing there. So I just got the puck and lay there for another half hour. And
we should get a strap so we can do like a Hannibal Lecter impression.
Absolutely. Yeah. But the other 2, I've lent them out to mostly family, but my husband, who has recently been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, he works on shows selling mainly alcohol, and he had 5 days at the NEC at the BBC Good Food Show, and he came home and he limped through the door. He said, "Oh, my heels are so sore." And he really was in pain. So I said, well, take the pucks to bed with you, stick one in each sock. And he did. And in the morning he said, it's amazing. He said, the pain's gone. So that was a relief, because I think when you've got type 2, you worry excessively about the possibility of amputation of both limbs, you know. It happens to people. So it took the worries away and it took the pain away. So yeah,
Amazing.
Good.
and my son had a knee problem that he's had for, he's 40 next year. He's had a knee problem for years, and I lent him one and said, how's your knee? He said, it's fine. So yeah, I think they're wonderful.
Amazing.
And I shall continue cuddling this one in bed and letting it work its magic wherever it needs to be.
The homing device is set.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you, Lindsay. That's amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lindsay. Great to see you. See you again soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
That's the mate. Are you blushing?
It's so hot here in the UK, you know.
No, I mean, are you blushing? Not from the heat. I mean, it's just lovely, isn't it, to know that you're making a difference like this? I think this is wonderful.
Do you know, I'm so emotional sometimes when I read. I can't even read the stories, and I can't even respond to the emails.
None of it surprises me, because the moment we first spoke, I knew you were an angel, and just the fact that you've done this and we can share it is brilliant.
Isn't it? It is. I mean, it's been such a roller coaster, but the joy of reading these incredible stories is amazing. It just, yeah.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. It is extraordinary, and I'm going to bring somebody else on. Let's get Karen. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Rachel. Great to be on the show.
Oh, don't you look super glam? Bless you. Gorgeous lady.
Thank you. See, this thing here has not left my side since it arrived in the post, like over 30 days ago. And just for the viewers, I have a pouch, like it's called a bum bag in Ireland. I'm from Louth in Ireland. I literally have it on me like this.
Brilliant.
And in the front. And it's brilliant because I would have a tendency maybe to drop it or something like that. So I know that sorts that out. But I would say what this does is it just helps me be the frequency of me. And isn't that what we're here to do? Be the frequency of you. And with all the ascension and all the things going on, we are just maintaining our own authenticity. And this is a gift from God. This is a direct gift from God. And I feel so blessed to have it. And an example of how I'm using it is for emotional healing and a lot of generational healing. And I find it so subtly calming, so relaxing. Like you could just sit there and meditate with it, or you could just sit and put it in a certain area. And at one time I did have a little tooth pain, put it on it. Within 5 minutes it was gone. So there's so many benefits to it. And my own father introduced me to it because he got one first. And he was taking sleeping tablets every night, and he had to have a sleeping tablet. And from day one he stopped. So he hasn't taken a sleeping tablet since, and he has it a lot longer than me. So that's very, very obvious testimony. And I think it's just amazing. So I think it really brings a lot of peace to yourself, a lot of healing, and helps you to recover. So one of the things as well for me that was bothering me was the effects of technology sometimes. Like I was picking up on the EMFs, and I needed to heal my field, and that's what I got it for. That was my specific reason at the beginning. So all this other stuff has been happening as well. But I find it's healing me field, you know, it really is, and having more awareness, you know, when to be online, when to be offline, taking some time out and staying in nature as well, just to help it along the way. So, yeah, I just feel blessed. Yeah.
And also, I never knew this, but apparently sleeping tablets, they stop you going to the lowest part, the deep, restful part of sleeping, where you actually physically heal. So it stops you from healing. I mean, how absolutely insane is that? So these sleeping tablets stop you from healing. Criminal.
Wow.
Absolutely criminal.
We all know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We do.
It was for me though. I was
Well,
blown
this
away.
doesn't. This gets to the healing, gets directly in there.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, it is amazing. And dreams, my goodness. Have you had like crazy dreams?
Yeah, I've had a lot of crazy dreams in the last 2 weeks. What have you, Karen?
No, I just sleep really deep. I love my sleep.
No, and you should. And deep sleep is magical, because that is the healing point. You know, our bodies are healing. And you might even feel the pulling effect, you know, sometimes. And our bodies are constantly kind of being bombarded by all the EMF.
Absolutely. Like every night going to bed, just bring it, put it beside you, you know, it's with you. And it's just working away all the time. And I'll tell you one thing I did was I forgot it for 24 hours. So I went off about midday, forgot to put it on me. And then I realized, geez, I'm missing something. I was finding all these energies coming in. And I was like, what is all this energy? Like I do feel like clean, I clear, and I'm working kind of interdimensionally at times. And I was just like, what is all this? And I was like, I'm not using the puka. So I put it back on, and then I realized what it was doing for me all along. Like I was like, right, this is really working, and I need this on me.
Karen, did you just call it a Guga?
Puka.
Oh, Puka. Is that what you're called it? Puka. I like that.
Yeah.
Puka. I prefer Puka.
Okay. Call it whatever you like.
This little buddy.
Karen, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us, Karen.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Have a super evening. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Amazing.
Oh, beautiful.
I should bring somebody on who said they hate it. Have we got anybody?
No, but you know, there are people that it hasn't helped. You know, people that I feel have got the a similar issue to what I had. You know, where they think they've got sciatica, but it's actually it's parasites. Because there's also, I mean, the only place this thing hasn't been deleted from is X, which used to be called Twitter, and it's called Just 3 Drops. And it's the I think it's John Ross. He's an ex-BBC filmmaker, and so
No, I met him at my film event.
Yeah. So he's created this amazing documentary. I mean, it's just it brought me to tears so many times, and they can help autism. You know, starting to fix autism.
Yeah, well, that's about. I want to put this on YouTube. So that's about something that rhymes with Dorian Pioxide.
Yes. But yeah, Just 3 Drops. Have a look for that, and it gives you all the information at the end of the trailer on X. But yeah,
brilliant. Right, let's get Andrea on. You ready, Andrea? Here you go. Hello.
Hi. Good to see you, Mark and Rachel.
You too.
My history is I have a medical condition, so I have bad joints and arthritis. And just prior to the lockdown, I had a right hip replacement with a view to 6 months later having the opposite side and then to go on to the knees. So a further 3 more replacements.
Wow.
But thankfully, I've known Rachel for some time, and I've been using the puck now for well over a year. I don't need any more replacements. I'm completely pain-free. It's just made the biggest transformation for my life. And the most, the best transformation for me is I was really struggling with my grandson, who's now 18 months old, and I was never able to get off the floor unaided without having to lean onto something. And it was quite problematic, really, when I was taking him out to events. I don't even want to say events, to play groups and things like that.
Yeah, play groups.
Stage fright. Bless. But I can do that now, unaided. I can pick him up, and I can. And the best for me is I can actually run. Having had that hip replacement, it was very traumatized, was the muscle, and I'd got very little muscle mass. But that's actually rebuilt. And I can jog with him, I can run around with him, I can play with him. And just for instance, one day I was working and I was just coming out of a home where I'd been upstairs, and I just automatically set off running down the stairs. I've not been able to do that for many, many years. And it quite took me by surprise when I got to the bottom. I had to message Rachel to say, you're not going to believe what's just happened to me today. But yeah, I could definitely vouch for it. The sleeping's amazing, so much deeper. It's just revolutionary. It's really changed my life. Thank you to Rachel and Tony.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks, Andrea. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate that. Yeah.
Take care. See you later.
Andrea.
Wow. Whew.
So there was three one-hip replacements, and I didn't even know about the 2 knees as well.
Yeah, 3 operations saved, running,
Yeah.
but improved life with the grandchild. I mean, that's you can't put a value on that.
Immeasurable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, just beautiful. I mean, yeah, to know that, bless you, to know that she could pick up the grandchild as well, you know, and then run with it. You see, that bring those kind of things. They just bring me to tears.
It's extraordinary. Well, we've got a couple more to go. Let's bring on Divine Pineapple. Hello.
Now then, Mark, nice to meet you.
How you doing? Is that Manchester?
Right. Manchester. No, I'm from Bradford originally.
Oh, Bradford. Sorry.
This is Tim.
Hi, Tim.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, sound.
Yeah. So yeah, I met Rachel not that long ago, to be honest, but she met my dad first. They were getting the cars MOT'd, and he came home with this magnet thing and showed me it, and I was like, "What's it for?" And he says, "Oh, it's like a pain relief thing." And I was kind of busy at the time and didn't think. I just kind of shrugged it off. I was like, "All right, yeah." And then like 3 months, he said to me, "It's helping with my knee." And about 7 years ago, he had a really bad motorbike accident. He's 79 now, so he was like well in his 70s. Came off his motorbike and basically obliterated his leg. All the bone in one of his leg from the knee down was just shattered into hundreds of pieces. So his leg's now full of metal, and he does really well. What's he like, Rachel? You know my dad. He's fit as a fiddle, isn't he, for 79, and he's
a doer.
Yeah, he don't stop. He's still running a garage in the village we live in, basically.
Brilliant.
Fixing people's cars, at 79. Yeah, and he swears by this magnet. But like I say, during all this time, I think this was like back in March when he got the magnet off Rachel, and it was only. It feels like about 3 weeks ago or something I met you. And,
it wasn't long ago that we met, because
she just happened to come round, and he said to me, "Oh, that lady that I got the magnet from's here." So I came out and I met her, and straight away, as soon as I saw her, I was just like, just a vibe, just a really good vibe, and then got chatting to her, loads of synchronicities. I immediately went in the house. I was like, "Pass me that magnet, let's have a look." And I started paying attention to it. I had a real good look at it. Straight away, I saw the Flower of Life array. I noticed no one else tonight's mentioned that, but I immediately saw that, and I was like, wow. And I could feel, like I do a bit of Tai Chi, and I could immediately feel the energy that like I'd get after doing 10 minutes of Tai Chi. And I thought, wow. And just went on the internet, plumbed in Rachel Russell, and it's like, whoa. And then I ended up getting in touch with her, and
I was dropping off a bag of compost.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and but to keep it short, I'll try to keep it as short as I can. But I've got a lot of friends in my circle that are suffering in many different ways, different ages and whatnot. And I didn't tell Rachel any of this, but I do building work, and she was interested in me coming in and having a look at some work. So I went round, and I ended up coming away with some more magnets, which I passed around some friends. And I have who did I give it to first? Well, I have a friend she's 63. She's just had chemotherapy for esophagus cancer. She had chemotherapy about 3 months ago. Then she had, about 2 months ago, had a tumour removed from her esophagus, and then I believe she's on her last dose of chemo this week, and you could see an amazing, all through it all, I've been with her, and you can see like a mental change in her health. Like I feel like she's recovered from it. She's feeling stronger and whatnot every day, but she has a lot of pain, she's had major surgery. So I gave her the magnet, and really long story short, she said as long as it's on her, she has no pain. And she's like really put it to the test. Another friend is going through menopause, and again, she has the magnet on her. Her tummy pain goes. She's also having bad teeth pain. That goes when she's got the magnet on her. And she's also saying about like extreme vivid dreams, like lucid dreaming. She can think about something and then, you know, go into it in a dream. And as far as I know, she ain't been able to do that before. An interesting one, this lady that I just mentioned then, that was going through the menopause, her husband's been going through a kidney failure situation for, I think it's at least 4 or 5 years now. But again, he's a super fighter. He's still working, and they're telling him his kidneys are only functioning at 10%. And he had the magnet on him, and he said it was making the pain worse. And wherever he was having pain, it was like amplifying the pain. And he started having a bit of a negative view about it. And just to rewind a little bit, as soon as when I first met Rachel and went on the internet, and I saw that the array and the whole thing was from David Lapointe, I was well familiar with his work from like way back from 7 or 8 years ago. I was well into it all on the internet. So that was, you know, like a massive synchronicity. And so I started explaining to my friend that's going through the kidney failure, you know, this guy didn't make this to heal people. He was studying plasma, and he wanted a way to contain the plasma, and that's, you know, hence the magnetic array. And it was just an accident that he realized that it took away his chronic back pain that he, you know, suffered with for years. So that's how it all happened. And then I explained this to my friend, and he started looking into it, and he says, well, the source of my kidney failure is a rare blood disease. And my belief is that this affects, on one level, on multiple levels it does different things, but on a physical level I believe it reacts with your plasma in your body, which is what Lapointe was studying. Like, you know, I study science and, you know, non-physical, spiritual, whatever you want to call it. I look at both sides of it. And, you know, your blood, I believe it's something like 40% plasma, which is photons, which is measurable light particles. And, you know, it's potentially your soul, you know, like those light particles that are in your blood. And I believe that this reacts those light particles, your heart beats, it creates that electromagnetic field, that figure of 8 around your body, or like a helix when it's 3D. And I feel like this just amplifies that through reacting with your plasma somehow. And yeah, so who knows, like when he said to me that it was giving him pain, I said to him, well, don't have it now, dude. If it's giving you pain, it's you know, but it potentially, if he was to stick with it, maybe, you know, gain after a bit of pain sort of thing. But yeah, and I can keep going. I've probably got another 4 people. I've got another friend who's in his 50s, and he's proper adrenaline junkie into racing motorbikes. And I don't know if you've ever seen, it's kind of like a speedway, you know, where they go sideways, but this is in a field with a motorbike and sidecar. And it went terribly wrong. He was in the sidecar, and long story short, it broke his back. This was like just short of 2 years ago. And same again, he's full of metal from the operation. He's had loads of operations in the past from motorbike accidents and whatnot, and he suffers with a lot of pain. And again, he has this on him. There's no pain.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They work, but you know, it's unbelievable.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah. The synchronicities. I mean, just you know, where his dad has a car garage, and then, you know, people that are helping me, you know, so a friend needs her brakes fixing, you know, so because we've exchanged magnets and kind of a bit of work, you know, so that he can fix a brake, because brakes are kind of slightly important in a car, you know.
Slightly, yeah.
So it is, you know, exchanging has been really quite magical as well, and just helping more people. Yeah.
And what was it?
Well,
So is it Tim or Divine Pineapple?
Well, yeah, my name's Tim. I just thought I'd put Divine
I
Pineapple.
like it.
Yeah, that's.
Use the Divine Pineapple.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
very
really
much.
nice to meet you, Mark.
Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you.
Really nice to meet you.
Oh, you too. That was brilliant. I really appreciate that. And give my best to your friends who've broken his back and chemo. I mean, these things are just so hard, and where we're going is brilliant. But this is definitely from God. There's no question, and it's just wonderful to hear. This is why it's so important to tell these stories, because it's how you're going up against a multi-trillion-dollar pharmaceutical industry. And here's a little thing with magnets that it's just beautiful. Thank you very much.
I really resonated with what Karen was saying, just regarding a spiritual path and how it seems to, like, when that's on you, you notice like things make sense easier without, keeping it in as less words as I can. The sort of people that are on that path that are, working with other energies that maybe won't make sense to the average person, these are really good.
Brilliant. No, I totally agree. And it's really, really appreciate that. Great to meet you. I'm gonna bring on our last guest now. Thank you very much.
Much love.
Cheers. Take care.
You.
See you soon, Rachel.
Thank you.
Bye. So we got Cliff Hannah here from Yukon, I believe. Hi, Cliff.
Yay.
Hello.
Yay.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello, Cliff.
Sorry
nice
to keep
to
you
meet
waiting.
you, Mark.
You too.
That's all right. I've been enjoying the show and listening to all of these stories. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful. Yeah. I really appreciate the opportunity to just pass on the benefits that we've had from it. I became aware of the whole concept and everything on your show that you did with Rachel in February. I was watching that and thought, and you mentioned, Rachel, something about hips, help somebody with hip replacement issue or whatever, and I thought, I should maybe check this out. So we went ahead and ordered one from you and got it in March sometime. I was told that I needed a hip replacement, that it was inevitable, my left hip especially, and probably eventually my right one as well. And I was in considerable pain for the last couple of years with that. It was progressively getting worse. And like I told Rachel, it affected, I have horses. I ride my horses. I've been a horseman since I was 8. And I couldn't ride a horse anymore. I couldn't even get on because it was so painful. And about this time last year, maybe a little earlier, I determined to get on a horse. I said, damn it, I'm going to do this. And I got on and it hurt so bad I couldn't even get off. I was just frozen on there. The pain was just excruciating. And I ended up having to kind of fall forward on the horse's neck and sort of roll off to get my leg out of the saddle and get off the horse. And I thought, So and it affected me to the point where even just walking was very uncomfortable, and I was starting to favor so much that it was starting to affect my other hip. And sleeping, of course, was a contest because I just couldn't find a comfortable place. So my sleep was interrupted badly all the time. So I got the magnet cup from you and started using it. I had just set it down beside my hip in the evening when I sat in my chair, and then at night we have it on a stand where it's up over our bed. And I don't know, 3 days, 4 days, I thought, this is feeling pretty good. And I was walk just fine, go up and downstairs, didn't feel it. So I went and saddled up a horse. Okay, we're going to put this to the test. Hopped on the horse, swung on, no problem. I was a little stiff, but that was my body, not the hip. And I've been riding 2-3 times a week ever since. It just gets better and better.
Wow.
And my sleep it's just like you turn the switch off. All of a sudden, zero pain, or very, very, I would say 90% gone pain, period, in whatever it is I'm doing, including sleeping. And the little bits that's still there seems to be slowly disappearing as well. And if I do something exceptionally, like yesterday, I trimmed 4 foundered ponies that I was called out to look at, and I'm a farrier as well as a horse dentist, and that's hard. They're miniature, so I'm down almost on my knees literally, and because they were foundered, they couldn't stand well. It ended up being about a 3.5-hour project, and I was kind of sore by the time I started driving home. But I sat in my chair for an hour or so that evening reading, and with the magnet on, and today I'm fine. Just presto, yeah. It's like Tim said, it just works.
Yeah,
it just does.
Your story brought me to tears because I have an affinity with horses because I did horse whispering for a decade, and yeah, it was just lovely, and to help somebody that can help more horses, love it, just love it.
Yeah, that's something that I'd like to explore a little bit, as we've touched on a bit, Rachel. I would like to get another one and play with it with horses that have problems and stuff, and see if I can find ways to help them with that as well. It'd be great.
Yeah,
I really appreciate this whole thing. It's a wonderful thing that you're doing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm going to cry in a minute. Stop it.
I'm running up just talking about it. Oh, the joy.
Well, thank you, Cliff. It's wonderful to hear that, and great to hear something stateside like that. And the animals, I'm glad we've talked about the animals as well, which is brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Affirming the proper posture.
Yes.
That was, Neil and Ariana. It was Neil that said that in a voice note to me, and I thought, that's an amazing way to say it. I mean, and he can't even remember saying it, but affirming the proper posture.
Yeah,
absolutely perfect. Yeah.
Thank you, Cliff. We're gonna have to shoot on because we're running out of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Nice to see you both. Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
I've got Louise here, but she's not got a camera on. Louise, if you can put your camera on, I can bring you on. Otherwise, we'll have to wrap it up. Hello, Louise. No, the camera's not been on all the way through. So it's an hour anyway, and I think that's long enough for any kind of decent podcast. Otherwise, if we're going on forever, that has just been.
Oh.
What can you say?
I think the only thing that hasn't been brought up is the weight loss, and some people somehow experience weight loss with this, and even people that have been just sat in a wheelchair, and because potentially because of the exciting the mitochondria. It also extends the telomeres, so that's however many times your cells divide.
Yeah,
so you can live for a little bit longer, in pain free.
Well, telomeres is the secret to aging. As they shorten, you get older.
Yeah.
And we're learning so much, and it's nothing to do with the bad guys. This is all beautiful stuff. If you're watching this, the link to get this will be below. And are you ready? Are you ready for more orders? Can you cope?
Yes, we're a lot more prepared now. I don't know if I can. There's one there, and it's a bit of a mess in here. But if I turn it around, can you see all of those?
Brilliant.
Yeah, there's just a whole a lot of printers nowadays, which is very hot in the house. But yes, no, it's progressing. Thank you.
And did I hear you mention you're working on a structured water thing?
Yeah. Yeah. Because we've made the hole bigger, which then makes the screw thicker, and we've had quite a few people all over the world snap their screws, unfortunately. So we've been sending them back out. But so that has made it a lot better, a lot stronger, and then we can create the water vortex, because this structures water.
Yeah. I've got a what's it called? Wayu machine in there, which uses magnets to do the same thing, which it's all good. We got to drink structured water. You got to have minerals. You've got to take iodine, magnesium, use magnets. On a final note, I'll go on.
Sorry, I was going to say I've been doing quite a lot of things with Harry Rhodes and testing people's blood and testing healing devices and healing and all sorts of things, and it's magical. But because his website is zonaresultscount.com, and he sells the vortexer, and then he does the ionic water one, the hydrogen water. but it's just nothing. Yes, there you go. Nothing in all our tests, nothing is as amazing as that.
Excuse me. Well, I was going to end on saying, do you really think Make America Great Again, which is MAGA, has nothing to do with magnetism? That Mary Magdalene has nothing to do with magnetism? That Ma is nothing to do with the first light? Ma. It's all connected. On that bombshell, I'll see you later. Thank you, Rachel, and thank you to everybody for coming. God bless you all. I'll get this up as soon as I can. And yeah, magnets, it's the way forward.
Hey, thank you so much, Mark, and thank
Take
you,
care.
everyone. Thank you.